Hey there, friend. We are going to talk about how to keep the momentum through the madness. It is no secret, my friends, that there is a lot of chaos happening right now. There's a lot of information, a lot of misinformation, and a lot of things happening. And as business owners, some of us are pretty scared, right? Some of us aren't sure how to proceed. Some of us aren't sure what to expect. There's a lot of questions, do I sell? Do I not sell? How do I handle this? What do I do in this situation? I've never faced this before. So we want to take some time. I wanted to take some time to spend with you and talk about how we keep our momentum through the madness. If we have not met, my name is Ryan Dowdy. I am a sales coach and I help business to business service providers build businesses that actually make money by mastering your sales conversation and your sales mindset. And I also went through the economic recession of 2008, 2009 selling radio advertising. So I have some experience in dealing with a lot of adversity, a lot of questions, a lot of uncertainty. And I want to talk about how we keep our momentum and how we control what is going on around us. Because there's really only my three key pieces of advice, just kind of personal advice. And we're going to talk about the business aspect of this, right? So first things first, guys, stop watching the news. I'm not saying bury your head in the sand. I'm not saying stay informed, but having the news on in your home or constantly reading about it or constantly looking up for an update is not going to change anything, right? The fact of the matter is that there is a virus, there is a pandemic happening in our world. All of the information you're consuming does not change that, right? If you are doing what we're being told to do, which is to self-isolate, self-quarantine, to wash your hands, to take good care of yourself and all of those things, if you're doing what you can, you're doing all you can do. So continuing to watch the news isn't serving you. In fact, it's probably hurting you, right? So in replace of the news, the second thing I want you to do is I want you to start focusing on positive content. Where can you consume positive content? And that's actually where this video came out of. How can I contribute to positive content that can help people move forward instead of keeping you stuck? So whether it is tuning into videos like this, whether it's listening to your favorite podcast, reading a book, reading fiction, watching a movie with your kids, like what can you do to consume information that is positive and helpful and keeps your mind off of the chaos, guys? It feels chaotic, doesn't it? But it's all in our brains, right? The fact is we are in a pandemic. Everything else that we feel about it is in our mind. And I know that that is an oversimplification. And if you're new to this concept, it doesn't really resonate with you. But I want to tell you that the one thing we can do is control what we can put into our brains and really focus on how do we make good use of this time that we're given, right? While we're home, do we study? Do we learn? Do we finish that book that we've been meaning to read? But really taking in positive information that helps motivate us and give us good ideas, inspire us, and keep us grounded. And then the third piece of advice I have for you is to focus on what you can control. Right? There are a lot of things outside of our control right now. What is happening with the pandemic? What is happening with the economy? What is happening in businesses being forced to close down or serve their customers in a different way, right? Those are not things that we can control. What can we control? What you watch, what you consume, what you do, how you show up, how you serve, how you spend your time, what you think, what you focus your energy on, all of those things. And if you're a business owner, you can control how you show up and serve your audience. Now is the time to serve. Now is the time to show up and be a resource. As a business owner, people are looking to you, right? Whether you chose that when you decided to be a business owner, but people are going to look for you. They're going to look to see how you handle this. They're going to look to see how you react. If you're panicked, if you're freaking out, if you are doing that, then that's what they're going to do, right? So how can you control yourself and what you do and really make the best of what is not an awesome situation, right? So those are the things, right? Stop watching the news, feed your brain with some really positive information, and then focus on what you can control. I encourage you, make a list. What are all of the things that I can control in this time? And then prioritize that list. If you have been behind, I know I'm behind on creating a new workbook for the women in my program, my coaching program. So I'm going to spend this extra downtime where I'm not out networking and connecting and speaking as I actively do, polishing that workbook and making it the best workbook that I possibly can. I'm also spending more time talking to you because I can control this. I can control bringing positive energy into the world. I can control bringing a positive message and tangible business advice to each of you. Okay. So let's focus on, for just a second, on what not to do. Okay. Because there is a lot of questions, guys, around what to do right now. Do we sell? All of those different things. But here is what I want to tell you. Now is not the time to stop. It's not the time to stop connecting, stop networking, stop providing value, stop making offers, stop inviting people to sales conversations, stop engaging with your audience. Now is not the time to stop. In fact, I encourage you to do those things more. You have more time to do it. Everybody has more time to do it. We have more time for coffee chats. We have more time for networking. We have more time for having sales conversations and practicing having those conversations. You have more time now, not less. So don't stop connecting and networking, because when things stabilize, when everybody goes back to work, you want to have those relationships relationships. You want to have those conversations started, right? The work that we do now pays us 90 days from now. So if we sit on our hands now, once everybody returns to work, hopefully they're saying 8 weeks or so, that you have relationships and you have conversations and you have a pipeline of people to talk to because you've been doing it the whole time. Do not stop. As I survived 2008 and 2009 and watched a lot of business that did not, I learned something very, very important, friends, is that businesses that pull back don't make it. Businesses that play scared lose, and businesses that stop showing up stop making money. Okay, people are going to spend money, right? In an economic downturn, the money does not go away, it shifts. So where we spend our money will shift, right? So we're not spending our money in restaurants, but we're spending it on something, right? Are we spending it on Netflix? Are we spending it on, videos for our kids? There's a lot of different things we're doing with our money right now. The money doesn't go away, but if you don't show up, if you don't tell people that you have something to sell, if you don't tell people that you solve a problem for them, they can't buy from you. They can't buy from you. And if you don't show up, you don't make money. And if you don't show up now, when things do normalize and people do go back to work and they do need your services, I would argue that they need your services now more than ever, as people are learning to work in a remote environment. We're super lucky as online entrepreneurs. We've been working in an online environment, right? We're familiar with video. We're familiar with learning via video. We're familiar with Zoom. We're familiar with building landing pages and collecting email addresses and selling online, right? We're familiar with that. But a lot of businesses aren't. So we can actually be an asset to those people now because you have a skill set that you have already mastered and learned that they are trying to figure out so their businesses stay afloat for the next 8 weeks, right? I hear all these people of like, well, as businesses close, they're not going to have money. Stay out of their pocketbooks. You have no idea what is going on in other people's businesses. Zero idea. All that you can do is focus on what you can control, which is the fact that you have a gift, a service, a talent that can help people, and especially people that are looking to bring their businesses online, looking to thrive in a remote environment, right? So that is where the money is shifting, and how can you serve those people? But if for some reason you work in an industry that happens to not be working right now, the relationships that you build now are going to become those clients when things normalize, when things stabilize, when people come back to work, right? And I do know, I am aware that just because we go back to work doesn't mean the economy will rebound magically, right? It's not going to happen. When an economy tanks the way it has historically, it doesn't bounce back in 8 weeks. But here is what you can control. You can control how you show up. You can control how actively you lean in and serve your audience, because so many people, guys, I'm watching it happen everywhere. They're leaning back. They're playing scared. They're watching and waiting. I am not watching and waiting. I am going out now and I am serving my audience now, because some of the best businesses, some of the most robust businesses, some of the most financially sound businesses were built during a time of economic downturn. When everybody else took their toys and went home, they stayed in that playground and they played by themselves. They showed up, they served, they learned, all of the things. They did everything that they needed to do in that time. So when it bounced back, they were on top. They weren't behind, right? I don't want you to get behind. And the only way that you get behind is if you stop showing up, you stop serving, you stop connecting, and you stop selling, okay? So we're going to focus on what we can control. We're going to stop watching the news. We're going to feed ourselves with as much positive content as possible. And we're going to serve the heck out of our audience for as long as it takes. Because you made a commitment to yourself, you made a commitment to your family, you made a commitment to the audience that you currently serve, that you have a gift to share with the world. And now is your opportunity to do that. And I am just so excited to be part of your journey, to be talking to you right now. My goal is to put out content every single day, guys, with new ideas, new strategies, things that we're brainstorming inside my community, things that we're brainstorming inside my coaching programs. If you are not yet in the Sales Skills for Women in Business Facebook group, please join us. If you are not a woman and you're still finding a lot of value in this, follow us over on Instagram at Ryan Dowdy Uncensored. It's Ryan with 2 N's, putting out a ton of content, a ton of tips. I just really want to be a positive light in the world for you. And I want to let you know that there is hope, and there are things to be done, and there's money to be made right now, my friends. Not in an opportunistic way. We're not capitalizing on a pandemic, but people are still spending money. They still have problems that you can solve with the business that you offer, with the service that you offer. So if you want to brainstorm, if you need help, if you need ideas, guys, like I said, find me on Instagram at Ryan Dowdy Uncensored, in the Sales Skills for Women in Business Facebook group. Feel free to reach out. I am an open book and I love communicating with people and brainstorming ideas. So please let me know how I can serve you, and I will see you next time.